Dragon Ball Super Episode 66, The Power of the Unyielding Warriors, something like that, has aired, and finally we get to see the return of Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. The return of Vegito and the debut of Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, as well as some other things. I'm Max Infamy, and we're going to review this episode as well as talk about the thousands of questions that we have. And of course, we're going to discuss the million of things that don't make sense in this episode. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this episode, because if you've seen it, which you should have, there's a lot of controversy over things making sense and cop-outs for the ending. But straight to the episode, we continue where we left off between the beam struggle between Zamasu, Merge God Zamasu, and Goku, which honestly ends up as one of the first things that don't really make sense to me. I mean, we just had a father-son Gallic gun, which had somewhat effect. It pushed the blast back, but Zamasu was able to heal no problem. Now Goku does it. Mind you, he did go full power supposedly, to the point where his arms seem broken, and Zamasu's half mortality begins to show, and he reveals himself to somewhat be half Clayface from the DC universe, which does not make sense, but at the same time it does, because he is fused with Black, aka Goku's body, which is half mortal, and thus creating the biggest hypocrite. Well, maybe not the biggest hypocrite, but one of the biggest in Dragon Ball history, considering how he hates mortals, but yet he's half mortal, or took the body of a mortal to become stronger than the god. But Goku realizes something's up, so with his flailing arms, he rushes in for an attack. Return of the Kaioken Blue form, which I'm glad to see that just wasn't a one-time thing, even though it's dangerous. Hopefully Goku can master it. And it also leads me to believe that we're not going to get too many new forms in Dragon Ball as far as like Super Saiyan Blue 2 or anything like that. Everybody has some sort of power-up, except for Vegeta right now, but I'm sure he'll get one because there's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken for Goku. Trunks has whatever the hell his 7 different forms that he unlocked since this arc has started. And then there's Super Saiyan Rose, which is Super Saiyan Blue just in another form. But back to the episode, we see Kaioken Blue, and he knocks Zamasu out. He realizes that something is wrong and that he's not healing, and they come to the conclusion that, oh yeah, he's half mortal. Well, no shit, geniuses. But, you know, moving on with the episode, they come to the conclusion that the only way to stop this guy is to fuse and become strong enough to beat his half mortal self the fuck up and basically destroy him, and thus our boy returns Vegito. Now there's a couple of things going on with that. Obviously was the retcon that the fusion only lasts for an hour, which still makes sense due to what happened in the Majin Buu saga or the Super Buu saga. It's just kind of like, well, then they could have made Gogeta canon, but in Super so far they have not made anything that was non-canon canon, so it's not really expected, and thus the conversation of what is the better fusion, Potara or the fusion dance, will return once again, which I don't really mind. But immediately after returning, Vegito lets him know who he is, and his new form is called Vegito Blue. Creative. I'm talking shit, but this form is beautiful. This might be the best Super Saiyan Blue form. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just Vegito. The art, the animation was on point. This entire episode, probably the best in Super thus far. At least that's the way that I feel when it comes down to the animation. He creates the form. Of course, merged bitch Zamasu has to become self-absorbed and talk and talk and talk. I'm so beautiful. Everything is so beautiful that gods do. But when a mortal does it, it smells like shit. And I want to wash my face every time I see you. And then Vegito does what we all would have done. Okay, enough talking. Huge fist straight to the face. It's not time for that self-absorbed shit. It's time to fight. And when it's time to fight, this fight ensues. And it's probably the best animated fight in Super, at least for me. I feel like it was incredible because Vegito was just applying pressure, but he was still struggling a little bit, which we did not see on his first appearance with Super Buu, or what was it, Buhan? Yeah, Buhan at the time, because he was just watching him, toying with him, playing around. Hence him being defeated was due to his lackadaisical approach to Majin Buu from being so vastly stronger than him. This one, no, this is a more serious Vegito. Maybe not the most serious person that we've seen, but he was thorough. He was ready to fight and take down Zamasu. There was no joking, probably due to Vegeta's concern with Zamasu and the fact that he's been bodying Trunks in his whole future. Vegeta's been the best in this arc thus far, so Vegeta's cockiness might not have come into play this time, obviously. And the rage ensues between Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, or Vegito Blue, and Clayface Zamasu, and they're pretty much on par, and something happens that it's like, finally, I kind of knew this was going to happen, but I wasn't thinking about it. Throughout the entire arc so far, Zamasu and Black have caught almost every warrior that they faced slipping with the psionic blade, the key blade, the black blade, whatever you want to call it. The Saw's blade. They've caught everybody slipping with it and done some real damage. And now Vegito lets him know, hey, I have one too. The spirit sword comes out and stabs him right in the chest. And then he, shows his weakness like, hey, I'm kind of feeling his pain. I'm immortal. Oh man, this shit hurts. But I'm immortal. Hey, don't focus too much on my face. And the battle continues pretty much. It's just, okay, wait a minute. He cries. I mean, how expected was that? I'm not gonna lie. When that happened, I was like, this bitch would start crying. The beauty of the world. That's why I have to kill everybody. Oh my god. Zamasu, this is one of the most entertaining characters ever. He's so self-absorbed. And he's such a I don't even know what to call him at this point. The tears say enough. And Zamasu's obsession seems to have given him the major mistake of the hero of this arc is by going bulk form. Guess we didn't learn from Ultimate Trunks, huh? Or Super Trunks or whatever it was. Obviously that's way too bulky to fight back. So that's pretty much, once he did that, I figured, yeah, he's about to die sometime soon. And in the midst of them telling him, reminding him, hey, you're kind of slow. What the fuck is wrong with you? Trunks just randomly creates a sword out of hopes and dreams and spirit. I'm not mad at that, but Spirit Sword's already taken, Trunks. Somebody's literally just used it. Flashback forward to Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. A crossover from the video games to the anime. Final Kamehameha finally appears, which I thought was better animated in the show than the anime. I want that version in Xenoverse. And the thing is, I'm going to call it now. I'm not going to say why, but you probably know why. I'm just going to call it. Xenoverse is somewhat canon somehow. I know it. I just know Xenoverse is going to be canon somehow. But after the final Kamehameha and a glowing fist from hell that was about to body Zamasu once again, the typical fusion trope happens. You used up all the energy, and they split in half. And Jesus Christ, Goku and Vegeta catch a heavy stamina break from hell. Look at the pic. Jesus, that shit looked like it hurt. That had to be the hardest hit that they've received thus far in the arc. And obviously you can tell with an attack like that, they're done. They're out of the game. They're about to die. And then once again, the best character in this arc, and in Super, in my opinion, so far, Trunks comes through with the sword of hopes and dreams and says, hey, cut that shit out. You're not killing my dad. And then the fight continues and it gets kind of like, wait, what the hell's going on? I mean, I didn't mind. We get another new form for Trunks. I didn't mind it, but let's just be honest. It really didn't make any sense, but we kind of asked for this anyway. Everybody wanted Trunks to deliver the final blow. He deserves it. He needs to be the one that kills Black. And if you know the spoilers for episode 67, yeah, there you go. Anyway, yeah, so he gets this new, like, spirit turbo form, mortal form or some shit. He starts glowing with this outer layer outline, which I personally like. I don't know. It's just something about the glowing between blue and yellow with Trunks that I've been enjoying. And this guy somehow channels some sort of Genki Dama, or Spirit Bomb for those who don't know, type of energy. That's what I just took that as some form of Spirit Bomb. And I'm not sure if Trunks has seen it before. And honestly, after watching this guy somehow pull off the Mafuba, after watching it done once, I will not ever put it past Trunks to learn somebody's move after just seeing it. Move. Techniques, anything like that. I mean, you can do the Mafuba, you pretty much got everything else you want, right? I mean, that's a pretty difficult technique, at least in Dragon Ball lore it is. And then instead of throwing it, which I'm kind of glad that didn't happen, he absorbs the Spirit Bomb, gets another glowing form, seconds later, generates a big dick sword or some shit, and just basically rips Zamasu in half with an epic mortal speech that I'm pretty sure the Omni King was watching. And that was the episode without actually seeing Zamasu's body being destroyed or obliterated. And if you know anything about video games, comics, anime, if there's no body, it's not dead. Or in anime, somebody's not dead if they just don't want you to be dead. They'll find a way to bring you back to life. And spoiler video for episode 67 is on the channel if you want to read about that. But that was pretty much the episode. Now, there was a shitload of things that did not make sense. And pretty much the Trunks thing was something that was just pulled out the ass at the end. But I gotta be honest with you guys. If you're really upset with things as far as not making sense in Dragon Ball, and it makes you think that the series sucks, or I want to drop it, or this arc sucks just because a couple of things didn't make sense, I don't know how you've gotten this far in Dragon Ball, period. Because almost nothing makes sense in Dragon Ball to begin with, so it did not really bother me. I I was just smiling from ear to ear in this episode, but that does not mean I do not see things as not making sense. Maybe there could have been a couple of more episodes to stretch this out. We only got Vegito for a couple of seconds, which we asked for. We all wanted a fusion, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. We didn't get Gogeta, we got Vegito, so that was cool. Vegeta got a couple more moments of shine. A lot of L's before it in this arc, and with this episode, we got at least 2 new Trunks forms. We got two new Saiyan forms besides the 2 that I just mentioned in the arc. And the Trunks delivered the final blow like plenty of people wanted, so you can't always have everything and have everything, make sense at the same time. Though I do understand if people have some gripes about it, but it didn't stop me from enjoying it. So let me know if it stopped you in the comments below. Like I mentioned earlier, I want your opinion on it because it seems like it's kind of a toss-up right now with the reception, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I thought it was epic. And of course, I knew Vegito wasn't going to land the final blow. I kind of figured he was going to be short. I was thinking one more episode's worth of him, but we got to wrap things up, I guess, and move on to this filler, get that out the way so we can start this next arc, which hopefully stands up to the quality of this one, or at least the epicness of this one. I mean, this was the best arc, granted, at least in my opinion. The other arcs aren't that interesting. We got 2 recaps, and the tournament arc didn't really get interesting until Vegeta kind of fought Kabe, and forward is when it kind of got interesting. Everything before that was like, okay, that's a giant teddy bear. This guy has nipples. Who are these people? Another Frieza? Oh, okay. I don't know. That's just how I felt about it. But like I said, let me know how you felt in the comments below. And if you saw the preview for the episode, yeah, we called it with that button, huh? He showed up. Omni King showed up. I'm wondering, though, is he showing up because they called him for help? Or is he going to show up like... So I've been watching for the past 20 minutes, and then he gives a whole speech about how it's fucked up that everybody thought that they could hide it from him. I'm wondering, that's actually what I do wonder. Is he there to help because they pressed a button for him to come play? Or is he there like, you pieces of shit have been lying to me. There's a whole timeline. Who did this? Because this episode is called Farewell Trunks, but we didn't say farewell to Trunks. So I don't know. Anything can happen at this point, but I'm pretty sure next episode is going to be the wrap-up episode for this arc. If not that episode, then the one after it. But it's looking like this next upcoming episode. But that's pretty much all we have for now. Once again, thank you all for watching. Remember to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And until next time, I will catch y'all in the next video.